Welcome to All-in-One YouTube channel. Today we are going to talk about how to use Kotlin Socket in Android Studio. For this, I will show you how to create simple Socket client-side app. When creating this app, we will talk about connecting to Socket server, sending and receiving data and interacting with layout elements and many more things. So, let's start our work. Let's create our project. First open Android Studio. Click on New Project button. Choose Empty Views Activity Template. Click on Next button. You can change name, package name and save location if you want. Language must be Kotlin. Change minimum SDK if you want. Use recommended option for build configuration language. Click on Finish button. Now our project is being built. I hide project window because it isn't necessary for now. First I am going to design app layout. So, I open activity_main.xml file. I use split view because I can see code view and design view in the same time. I use relative layout because easy of usage. I remove text view element because it isn't necessary. I will explain my layout design. I get two user inputs. One for host name or IP address. Other one for port. There is a button for connecting to server. I show message coming from server as output. For this layout, I need two edit text elements, one button and one text view element. First let's create a edit text element for host name or IP address. I set values of layout width and height as wrap content. Next I give a ID for this element. We need to use this ID to access this element through our Kotlin code. I center this element horizontally. Next let's take this element down. Let's put hint message on it. Host name or IP address is one-line text. So, let's set input type to text. Let's increase text size. First element is successfully created. Next let's create edit text element for port. I set values of layout width and height as wrap content. Next I give a ID for this element. We need to use this ID to access this element through our Kotlin code. I center this element horizontally. Next let's take this element down. Let's put this element under the previous element. Let's put hint message on it. Port is a numeric value. Let's increase text size. Element is successfully created. Next let's create button element for connecting to server. I set values of layout width and height as wrap content. Next I give a ID for this element. We need to use this ID to access this element through our Kotlin code. I center this element horizontally. Next let's take this element down. Let's put this element under the previous element. Let's put a text message on button. Let's increase text size. Element is successfully created. Next let's create text view element for server message. I set values of layout width and height as wrap content. Next I give a ID for this element. We need to use this ID to access this element through our Kotlin code. I center this element horizontally. Next, let's take this element down. Let's put this element under the previous element. Let's put hint message on it. Let's increase text size. Element is successfully created. We successfully designed layout of app. Next, let's go to create Kotlin code. So, go to mainActivity.kt file. First, we need to interact with button that we created before. So, first I create button object. This is the name for button object. Let's get button object from button element. This is button. Next, we need to give ID of button. We need to listen for button clicks. When button is clicked, we need to perform some actions. For that, I use clickListener method in button object. I put the function named connect inside curly brackets. So when button is clicked, this function will be started. We previously put the function named connect, but we didn't create it yet. So, let's create function named connect. For network operations like socket, we need to run that work outside the main thread. For that, we can use coroutines and thread modules. But, there are several benefits using coroutines rather than thread. 1. Coroutines provide a simpler and more concise way to write asynchronous code compared to threads. They use familiar programming constructs like function calls and loops, making code easier to read and maintain. 2. Coroutines are lighter weight than threads, as they can run multiple coroutines on a single thread. This reduces the overhead of creating and managing threads, leading to better performance and resource utilization. 3. Coroutines can execute concurrently within a single thread, allowing for efficient use of system resources. They enable you to write asynchronous code that can perform multiple tasks simultaneously without the complexity of managing multiple threads. 4. Coroutines provide built-in support for cancellation and structured error handling, making it easier to write robust and reliable asynchronous code. Threads require manual management of these concerns, which can be error-prone and lead to resource leaks or unexpected behavior. 5. Coroutines seamlessly integrate with asynchronous APIs, making it easy to work with libraries and frameworks that use asynchronous programming patterns. They provide a unified way to handle asynchronous operations across different parts of your codebase. Let's use coroutines. We need to use main dispatcher because we are going to interact with layout elements. Let's create edit text object for host name. Let's access its value and convert its value to string value. Let's create edit text object for host port. Let's access its value and convert its value to integer value. Next, we are going to create socket connection. We need to perform this action inside the IO dispatcher. But we can't interact with layout elements inside the IO dispatcher. So, we need to get server message from IO dispatcher to main dispatcher. For that, I create this variable. Now I use IO dispatcher. Now I create socket connection. Now we need to create input stream for receiving data from socket connection. Now we need to create output stream for sending data to socket connection. You need to use write and flush methods to send data. You can use readline method to receive data. After data is received, it is automatically assigned to text from server variable. Now I go to outside from IO dispatcher for interacting with layout elements. Now I create text view object for server message. Now I set server message as text in text view object. We created Kotlin code. Next you need to open Android manifest.xml file. Follow these steps to open it. Open Project tab, expand App folder, expand Manifests folder. Double-click on Android manifest.xml file. If your app requires Android permissions, you need to add them here. For this app, Internet permission is required. So, let's add it. Now we can run this app. I will install this app in my Android phone. Let's test app. I use this Python code to make socket server in my VPS. You can see here that now socket server is running. I fill here public IP address of my VPS. Next I fill the port number that socket server is listening. Now click on Connect to Server button. You can see that app works perfectly. Subscribe my YouTube channel. Put comment on video. Like and share this video.